What's up, everybody? It's Loki Load Me here. I have some alpha gameplay from BloodHunt, which is a vampire battle royale that is coming at the end of this year sometime, maybe quarter three, but yeah, you know how it is. So I want to touch base with it. When you first go into the game on Steam, you have some options for your graphic settings, and that is the only way currently to change them. Obviously, they'll probably add that in after it's release and so on. But if you happen to have the alpha, you might want to pick if you have the system to run it high. I felt like high settings worked the best for me. I played an hour on each setting: ultra, high, medium, and low. And I even tested DirectX 12 Ultra. And I still felt high was the best pre-settings available. Minimal hiccups, and that's pretty much it. And although it is an alpha, I still feel as though it runs really, really well. I did not find any game-breaking glitches or crashes, nothing like that of the sort. And to touch base again with the pre-settings, I didn't really feel the frames were affected too much between any of them. I was not able to record frames per second. My programs would not show me for some reason. My monitor did. It wasn't the best way to see them, but I was able to see I was getting over 100 frames no matter what settings. And sometimes they would go into the 200 or 300s. With medium and high, mostly medium and low, but the effects weren't that beautiful, so I chose high. It looked great. So loading into the game, you're gonna have like a little tutorial. You'll do that, and once you're done, be sure to go to the player tab after the tutorial. I suggest that you watch these little clips that are on each character's power to get a good understanding of what each thing does. They did a great job in that. Here's the map. You have about 20 seconds, I think, to pick a spot. Once you pick your spot, a little UAV pops up that will show anybody else that is around you. If you don't like that spot, you can pick another one. I suggest picking a spot where there's probably some decent weapons, and you go to that spot ASAP. My character I chose was Siren. He or she, whatever you choose, some good benefits of getting out of a sticky situation that you'll see later on in my gameplay footage. Choose whatever floats your boat. That's all I can say there. So when you first load into the match, like I said, the first thing you want to do is rush and find a weapon and armor if you can. After you have found a weapon, you can look for people like this guy here that gives you additions to your abilities that you have. Make sure you choose wisely though, because you only have a certain amount of spots to fill. Once you start killing enemies and drinking the enemy's blood, that gives you access to more open spots on your ability. So if you're someone that enjoys melee, you can find the civilians that are around the map that give you that extra boost to your melee damage. If you want your health to be recovered quicker, I believe there's a spot for that as well. If you want your special ability to have a faster cooldown, there are civilians for that perk also. So make sure you choose the correct ones. Like this one here, it gives you the 10% increase, reduction in your cooldown time, and that only stacks. So I believe it goes to 50%. So it starts with 10, 25, and then 50. Here's your melee damage right there, increase. These are all beneficial to your playstyle, so you'll have to figure out your playstyle. Also, if you are not playing Siren and you decide to suck the blood of a civilian, make sure there's not another civilian around, because if somebody sees you doing that, you are pretty much shown on the map for a full minute where anybody can come and get you, and that's called a blood hunt. You can climb anything, and I do mean anything in this game, all the way up It is phenomenal. It's nice. It's fluid. There are a couple hiccup spots where if you catch the edge of a building, it kind of bounces you back a little bit. So be careful on that. You have a scan that resets, I believe, every 4 or 5 seconds. It's very quick and you can constantly use it. It helps to highlight the enemy. It puts them all red, but they have to be visible when you use it. Otherwise, it doesn't pick them up on the map. Throughout my gameplay, you'll see me use my special abilities, like projection, to get to certain areas that I want to get to quickly, and or to get out of situations. If you look on the bottom left, after I suck the blood out of this guy, you'll see an open spot on each of the abilities. Now I can go find a civilian and add to if I want. If you look on the minimap, you'll see that red ping. I go to investigate, and this is what I'm talking about. This guy up here must have been spotted by a civilian while he was using a special ability and or sucking the blood out of another civilian. So he's highlighted, has no protection, can't hide. And this is where abilities come in handy. You'll see me taking the blood out of this guy, and then another guy's coming to push. So I quickly use my blinding beauty to blind him, quite literally. So he had to run because he couldn't see, and then I get the finish. That's a civilian. You'll see them running around. If they see some crazy stuff going down, that's probably the guy that alerted and made this guy blood hunted. There are tier systems for weapons. You'll notice there's green, blue, purple, and I believe a yellow-orange being the best one. Those are hard to come by that I've found, and I believe they're in the harder areas where you would have to spawn and try to quickly get one of those. And of course, the differences between them would be magazine sizes and stuff like that. Additions to the weapon that make it better. I will say sound seemed pretty good for me as well, as you can hear people jumping onto the roof or climbing up the side of a building as they're trying to approach. Be careful of vehicles. Cars do have alarms. There is like a little sense that you can see when you use your special ability, the Z scan. If you bump it, the alarm goes off and alerts people that are close by, and they may come to investigate. There are parts of buildings with weapons and health inside of them that you can open the doors and go in, but once you do that, an alarm goes off, once again alerting nearby enemies that you're there. I did forget to mention that Blinding Beauty does damage the enemy around you. Even though it's not much, it's still helpful. And of course, I forgot to mention, if you're low on health, you can always pick a civilian to heal yourself up all the way, or you can find blood packets. The blood packet should heal you up all the way, or a blood syringe, which gives you a small boost, and I believe it heals you over time, but it won't heal you in full. Coming up here is another player's ability. I think it's from Prowler. I forget the exact name. But if you go into those little bats, it lights you up just like so on the map so they can see where you're at. Another thing I forgot to mention, if you down a player, you must go and finish them. They have a timer that will get them right back up on their own. Well, that's pretty much it for this little breakdown. Unfortunately, I couldn't get the win on that one. But overall, I do think this game has a place in It's really fun. So if you have a chance to get into the next alpha or whatever beta that might be coming up next, be sure to do so and enjoy.